Oh, hello there. On to our next poem. This one is To James, again by Frank Horne. Did you realize it was the same author? Because I did not. I wish I would have shuffled it, but oh well, that's okay. All right, enjoy. To James. Do you remember how you won that last race? How you flung your body at the start? How your spikes ripped the cinders in the stretch? How you catapulted through the tape? Do you remember? Don't you think I lurched with you out of those starting holes? Don't you think my sinews tightened at those first few strides? And when you flew into the stretch, was not all my thrill of 1,000 races in your blood? At your final drive through the finish line, did not my shout tell of the triumphant ecstasy of victory? Live as I have taught you to run, boy. With a short dash, dig your starting holes deep and firm. Lurch out of them into the straightaway with all the power that is in you. Look straight ahead to the finish line. Think only of the goal. Run straight, run high, run hard. Save nothing and finish with an ecstatic burst that carries you hurling through the tape to victory. So I feel like a real dum-dum. I knew that I had two Frank Horne poems in our competition, but I didn't realize that they were back-to-back. And it probably doesn't matter to you, but I wish I would have staggered them. I just forgot. Anyway, I want to start this poem off just a little bit differently. I want to start with the things I liked and the things I had trouble with. So I want to start with what I like. This poem uses something called enjambment. It looks like this. You smell it? Sorry, you spell it like this, enjambment. And it essentially means in poetry when a line is continued without a pause at the end of the sentence. So it's like this. Do you remember how you won that last race? How you flung your body at the start? Notice how when I was reading that, the first three lines, do you remember how you won that last race? Those are all read in like the same breath. So that is something called enjambment. So I'm going to write that here because I feel like we covered this before, like maybe last semester, but also, I don't know, maybe we didn't. So I love that enjambment. I am a big fan of it. I studied poetry in college, and enjambment is my jam, not to sound corny or, punny, but I like flung your body at the start. I like that uses like kinesthetic, like I can see it and I can feel it. I like this section, and I'd like to tell you why. I like this section because it's got some interesting point of view things that are going on, or perspective things that are going on. So it's got the you, your, but it also has my. I like that it uses enjambment. I also like that it's a question.
I also noticed that same format is followed in the next part right here, where it says, at your final drive through the finish line, did not my shout tell of the triumphant ecstasy of your victory? Wow, that was a lot to say in one breath. And so what I noticed as well, just by doing this, I noticed that there's a question followed by another question, and then there's a command. Live as I have taught you to run, boy. I don't know, like the effect of boy. I noticed that boy is capitalized. So I'm going to assume, so now I want to go to my summary. I just want to take notes first. It feels like the subject is looked down upon by the speaker. Okay, so now let me make that a better sentence. The speaker of the poem looks down upon the athlete. I think it's a little more than that. I think this is a reminder to persevere. I want to go to the subjects now. And I want to go straight to page 34. Okay. I think for the subjects, I came up with fate, ambition, success, pride, memory. And I guess I don't totally understand the punctuation. I don't totally understand why the ellipses are used throughout. And I mean, I understand the questions, but it's also interesting to me that it ends with ellipses too. Interesting. So that is my breakdown of To James by Frank Horne. So now make sure you filled out your form, and you're going to go on to the next poem, which is I Want to Die While You Love Me.